Hello, welcome back. In today's video, I want to talk about Amazon PPC myths that are costing you all your profits on Amazon. My name is Iani, I'm a 7-figure e-commerce seller, and I also have a full-service Amazon agency called E-commerceville, the city of e-commerce, where we do all the listing creation, ads, all the fun stuff of Amazon. We work with over 20 brands, anything to furniture, supplements, grocery, you name it, we've done it. Today, I want to speak about the Amazon PPC myths that are costing you profits and causing you a lot of headaches. And what are those? First one, and this is the most common one, ACoS is the most important metric. This is one of the biggest myths that is costing profits and sales in the long term on Amazon. ACoS is an important metric. It's advertising cost of sales, telling you how profitable and how healthy your ad sales are. And that is great. The issue with ACoS is that it doesn't factor the organic sales, and that's where you make most of your profit on Amazon. You can find many times that you can have a high ACoS of 40, 50, 60%, but your TACoS, total advertising cost of sales, is much lower. So if you look at ACoS only, you're losing money. But if you look at the actual total spend on ads, you're making money. And that's where you should be focusing on, because ads are there to push traffic to your listing. So you sell more and you're more profitable in the long term. And more importantly, you bring organic sales, because the more advertising sales you have, the more your rank gets better, you get more organic sales and you become more profitable. Now, of course, there's a fine line of where your ad spend becomes very unprofitable. How do you know that fine line? You understand your gross margin. If your gross margin is 40%, you know you cannot go over that if you want to stay profitable. And of course, with products like supplements that have a shorter buying journey and someone can buy 12 times a year, you can afford to spend more because you know you're going to make a lot more money on the back end. And it's very important to know your lifetime value of a customer. You need to understand how much a customer is worth. Does a customer buy 10 times, 5 times, 2 times? Because the more they buy, the more you can spend on ads. The less they buy, the less you can spend on ads, and need to be more strategic. Second big misconception that I see is people separating Amazon PPC and Amazon listings. They think that advertising in PPC is one thing and listings are another thing. They're not. They're connected. And I'll tell you and show you why. Amazon PPC is there to show you visibility and to bring traffic for the right keywords, the right product targeting for your product. The listing is where people go to. So if you have a bad listing, overpriced, bad reviews, bad main image, not indexed correctly from an Amazon SEO site, you're going to be bringing traffic to a bad thing. So you're not going to be converting. So I would much rather have great listing, great product, and great advertising. But if you have bad listing, good product, and okay advertising, you're going to struggle. Because remember, if you're not bringing traffic and if you're not selling your product why people should buy it, you are losing and leaving a lot of money on the table. Third misconception. You should track everything. Now, I do agree that you want to track everything that's relevant, but if you get to the place of tracking absolutely everything, you start taking your eye off the ball. Example, for me personally, and for the brands we work with, I focus on these metrics. I want to make sure that we have enough traffic and impressions. I want to make sure that we have enough clicks, so click-through rate, and I want to make sure we're converting. Also, I want to make sure that our ACoS is at a healthy level, and I want to make sure that, most importantly, our TACoS, total advertising cost of sales, our actual profitability on the ads, it's at a good level. The team and I, we track, am I growing market share for the brand? Are we more profitable than we were? Is our listing and product doing better? Are we getting better or worse reviews? These are metrics you should be tracking 100%. But you don't want to be tracking all other irrelevant metrics and be concentrating on that. Remember, usually it's only 2 issues that a product can have. It's either traffic issue, not enough people are seeing it, and usually that gets fixed with increasing the bids and making sure you're targeting the relevant keywords and products, or it's going to be a conversion issue, which the fix for that is, and hopefully you have a good product, make sure you're price competitive, make sure you have good reviews, make sure you have a main image that's amazing, and make sure your listing is great. Bullet points need to be the way they should be. Have keywords in your copy. Make sure you have relevant images to what your product does. Don't just stuff things there just to stuff it. And if all of that works, then conversion shouldn't be a problem. Again, good product is important. If you have a bad product, you can sell it, but it will have a short cycle of life. A good product, the more time it's on the market, the better it performs. A bad product, it's the opposite. For me, Amazon and business in general is about focusing on what we want to grow. The less things I'm focusing on, the more I can perform. Because if I have 50 metrics that I'm tracking, it's going to be a nightmare, and most likely I'm not going to do very well. Simplify all your processes. Another big misconception that I see is if my product performs very well, I should stop ads. And that's a big mistake. However known your product is, even if you're selling Apple products, advertising can always help. Now, of course, it'll be much cheaper to advertise something like Apple because of the brand awareness. But if something is working very well, do not shut it off, because what tends to happen is if your product is performing very well and you remove all the ads, you'll see that in the first couple of weeks, you might kind of maintain that sales, but in a couple of months, you will lose a lot of your sales because you're not bringing traffic, you're not sponsoring. Organic can only hold you so far. Always be advertising on Amazon. Always be advertising. Doesn't mean you need to blow all your budget, but always be putting some money towards advertising. I hope you enjoyed this video. My key here is to make you more profit, save you more money, and grow your brand on Amazon. A lot more to come of this. Stay tuned.